Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Southampton 3, Tottenham 3. A game that had almost everything in it. It had injuries, goals, cards, penalties. It was a good game. It was a really entertaining game to watch. It's a point that Southampton will be happy with the fact that they came back from 3-1 down to be 3-3, but I don't think it's a point that does much for them, in terms of the league table. Yes, they'll probably take some belief from it. It's a point against a team that is in the top six, so you don't necessarily expect to get points against. But at this point, I think Southampton need three rather than one. And so I don't think it makes much of a difference in the context of the league table, that point. But what it does do for Spurs, they'll be kicking themselves because this was a chance for them to pull up closer to Manchester United in third, probably pull a little bit away from Liverpool as well. But they've just blown it. Being at 3-1 up, I really thought that that's the game, that's done, because Southampton don't score a lot of goals. So you're thinking that the game's done, just see this out now, and get the 3 points. But I don't know what Tottenham were doing. The goals they conceded were so sloppy, and all of them they were sloppy goals when you think about it. Was from Tottenham's point of view. And we'll go through them, but they've got to be disappointed with the way it's done now. Now the first goal for Tottenham was very good, and Porro hasn't had a very good time since he came to the club. But that was a goal that should give him a lot of confidence. It's a good pass from Son. The pass from Son is what makes that difference. I thought we saw today some very good passes for goals. By the way, the assists were, in many cases, the assists were better than the goals. But that's a very good pass from Son, because that pass to Porro, it takes out Elyounoussi, it takes out Perraud. And I think the two defenders in the middle takes him out as well. Takes out everybody with that pass, because once it gets to Porro is now free, and nobody's getting close to him. In that position, nobody's getting close to him. Why Perraud is so deep inside, I don't know. Why Elyounoussi has left Porro alone, I don't know. But it just made everything easy for him. And the shot is very good. Of course, it's powerful. It's straight through Bazunu, but it's so powerful. Bazunu is never getting close to that. So it was a good finish, but it was a pass from Son that makes that happen. And you think at 1-0, right? First half stoppage time, in a half with that 4 injuries, 2 for Tottenham, 2 for Southampton. It's just crazy. It's just incredible how there were so many injuries in that game. It almost felt like Spurs were like, well, Southampton got injuries, so here we go. We'll get someone injured as well. And I think the injuries did affect the flow of the game. It did in the first half. Because neither team could really get a rhythm going because they were losing players. So, you then kind of get a bit cautious because you don't want to pick up another injury. So I do think that had an impact in that first half. But that second half, just everything just opened up. Things just became so chaotic and so end to end. The goal for Spurs to concede 45 seconds after the break, that is just so like Spurs, and so bad, because you worked hard to get yourself in front, and then they just give it all away so quickly. It's the pass from Romeo Lavia, and I will talk about Romeo Lavia later. But I thought that pass was so good again to Walcott, and Walcott just has to square it back to Shea Adams. And he does that very, very well. And Shea Adams has a simple tap in. It wasn't a very simple tap in, though there were a couple of players in front of him, but he gets a nice connection on it, and he puts it in nicely. And it's 1-1, and you're thinking it's game back on. And I think Saints were a little bit in the ascendancy at a point. They were doing a little bit, they were getting into the game, but Spurs had a very good knockout punch. They've got Harry Kane. They've got the knockout punch in Harry Kane. Again, it's a good pass down the channel for Kulusevski. The cross is brilliant because it's right on top of Kane's head. So all Kane has got to direct it and make sure that Bazunu cannot get anywhere near it, which he does. As long as he gets it on target with enough power, wherever he puts it, Bazunu is not going to save it because it's so close to the goal, and he finds the perfect spot, and it's 2-1. And Spurs ahead, and you're thinking, right, what a Saints got? They've got nothing, because it becomes 3-1. I think that third goal would be one that's, again, Southampton will be very, very disappointed with, because it's off from a corner. They've almost seen it out. But then that last clearance, I think it was Salisu, I'm not sure who it was, but that last clearance is not very good at all. It falls straight to Perisic, and he gets a very good shot into the roof of the net. It's a very good one because he actually hits it downwards, so it lets it bounce and then goes in. That's always difficult for a goalkeeper to save. And it's 3-1, and like I said, I thought it was game over, but the Spurs just let Southampton back into it. Again, sloppy. Romeo Lavia picked out Theo Walcott again. It was a good pass. Again, I don't know what the Spurs defense is doing in that situation, but again, they're just letting Walcott have a free run. You don't let Walcott is someone who misses chances, as we saw, but he's not going to miss from those kind of ranges where they were putting him, where they let him free, and he got the goal. He took a bit of a deflection, but he makes it 3-2, and you're thinking game on. And then that penalty. Now, what's that a penalty? So here's what I think. So first of all, Sarr does catch Maitland-Niles. He catches him. He does it. You can see right at the end there is a bit of a brush on the angle, so he does catch him. right? So from that point of view, there's contact. And once there's contact, VAR is not going to overturn that penalty because there is contact, and that's why it's been given. Was that a penalty? It's hard for me to say because I'm trying to think. Does he give? Is it, you know, from the fact that what we've seen in terms of fouls in the last few games last weekend? I think it's a penalty. It's got to be given as a penalty because he's made contact. Maitland-Niles otherwise gets to the ball, so he's basically stopped Maitland-Niles from getting to the ball technically. Right? He can feel a bit hard done by, because if that wasn't given as a penalty, I don't think it would have been overturned. Right? So it's all about the referee making that decision, and he makes that decision that yes, it is a penalty, and because he stopped Maitland-Niles from getting the ball. And here's the other thing: he didn't need to make that challenge because Maitland-Niles, even if he wins the ball, he's not going anywhere with it. It was just a bit casual. I think Sarr wasn't expecting Maitland-Niles to compete with him for the ball, so he gets a bit casual, and suddenly he sees Maitland-Niles running in front of him. He's, oh my god, I've got to do something, and then he sticks his leg out instinctively and catches him. So I mean, it's a bit sloppy from Sarr, it's a bit sloppy from Spurs, and that just gave Southampton the opportunity, and it's well finished. Good penalty from Ward-Prowse, because he actually, if he gets that wrong, Forster saves it. It's got to be right in that top corner where Forster cannot get to, because anywhere else, if it's even a bit lower, Forster gets it and he saves it. So it was a perfect penalty. It's got to be James Ward-Prowse, isn't it? He's the star man for Southampton. It finishes 3-3. It's a point for Southampton. It's 2 points drop for Tottenham, and I think it's a point that doesn't do a lot for Southampton, but what it does do is it directs Tottenham's chances a little bit more for that top three, for that third spot. So a little bit, and of course keeps them in that top four conversation, which they probably wouldn't want to be. They want to be thinking, right, we've got fourth spot, but they keep getting dragged back in, and now Newcastle and Liverpool have an opportunity to close the gap on them. So it's disappointing. What I will say about Romero Lavia, I thought he was fantastic today, especially in that second half. I think once Southampton started playing through him, they just look so much better. He just looks so good on the ball. He's so good defensively. And if Southampton do get relegated this season, and I do believe that they will get relegated this season, I can see Romero Lavia moving on to a bigger club, and see lots of clubs making a bid for him. I know, I believe City have got a buyback clause on him, but you would love to see a big club buying him. I would love, this, hopefully there are clubs that are interested in him. And I mean, if City, like I said, City have got a buyback clause, so they probably will want to they may want to exercise that and get him back, because he's been brilliant. But I think for his career at this point, I don't think he should be going to Manchester City. But anyway, that's a conversation. But I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was very brilliant. He was brilliant last game as well against Manchester United as well. So he's someone to watch out for, definitely. Along with Bella-Kotchap as well, although he got injured today. But yeah, I think those are two real future stars in the game. Maybe for Southampton, if not for Southampton, for someone else. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game. Of course, smash a like if you enjoyed Saints comeback draw. I enjoyed the game. It was entertaining. So, do smash a like if you enjoyed the game as well. Do share your thoughts, of course, as I mentioned, and do subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've got a lot of content coming up today and tomorrow. It's weekend of games, so you subscribe and you get notified as videos drop. Thank you so much for your support. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.